Hi, I am Vidushi, and you are watching Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why, and how of newspaper analysis from the UPSC perspective. So, today we have taken up important articles from the Hindu, the Indian Express, and the Business Line. Let's see what we have taken today. So, for mains, we have mental health, status and challenges, Indian Ocean region, rising sea surface temperature. And for prelims, we have taken 8 practice questions. First is based on Sakhi app. Second question is based on coral bleaching. Then we have question on environment impact assessment, rules for transfer of captive elephants. Then there's question on critical minerals, disqualification of representatives, forest fire. And last question is on Uniform Code of Pharmaceutical Marketing Practices, that is UCPMP 2024. Now, before starting our discussion, there's a request that if you like our initiative, please do like, share, and subscribe our channel. So let's start our discussion. So our first discussion is based on this topic, this news article which appeared on page number 6 in the Hindu newspaper. Context is that this news article sheds light on interrelationship between violence, homelessness, and women's mental health. Now, this article particularly talks about women's mental health, but you know that mental health is a broad concept and it has its impact on different strata of society. So, here in this discussion, we'll see key takeaways from this article, status and implication of mental health in India. Then we'll see challenges that hinder its effective treatment and initiatives taken by the government, and we'll end our discussion with a way forward. Now, the second question is that why we have taken, because as this question talks about women, and you know, women is one of the vulnerable section in GS paper 2 under social justice. Also, there is article is related to health, mental health, which is another important theme in the same paper. So let's start our discussion. First, let's see the key takeaways. So here, author highlights violence against women, which is one of the persistent issue in Indian society. And this we can map from a fact provided by National Family Health Survey 5, that 30% of women between the ages of 18 to 49 years of age, they have experienced physical violence beginning at the age of 15. And 6% they experience sexual violence. So you can map the gravity here of violence against women. And here in this article, authors establish a causal relationship between violence and mental health. That violence is one of the reasons behind women's mental health, and these two factors somewhere heighten the risk of homelessness. And this homelessness is not because of dearth of infrastructure. Rather, it is a escape route. Escape from repeated cycle of violence. Okay. So this is all about the important key takeaways. Now this theme, mental health, is important. Why? Because UPSC has been asking question on this aspect. Like in 2020, they have asked question on geriatric and maternal health care. And there was a question on why suicide among young women is increasing in Indian society. This came in last year. Okay. So that's why this theme, mental health, is important. Now, to further discuss the implication of mental health, first we need to know the difference between mental health and mental illness. If you know the difference, then write in the comment box. See, mental health is anyone's state of mental and emotional well-being. Okay, this is anyone's mental and emotional well-being. Mental illness, it refers to diagnosed conditions like schizophrenia, dementia. Yes, that is mental illness. So what we can say here, we can say that anyone can have a moments of poor mental health, but not everyone has a mental illness, that is problems like dementia, schizophrenia, etc. So there's a fine difference between mental health and mental illness. Okay. Now, let's move forward. Let's see the challenges that hinder effective treatment. Okay. So here you can take a screenshot, the key takeaways of this article that we have already discussed. Now, let's see challenges associated with mental health in India. The first and the foremost challenge is cultural barriers and lack of sensitivity. See, cultural barriers, or you can say cultural factors, they play a crucial role in shaping attitude of individuals towards mental health in India. Some of you will view it as a reason of like supernatural force. It is because of supernatural force. It is because of past karma. Some of you will label a person lunatic because of its mental unstable that mental condition is not stable. So some of you will refer it as lunatic person. Some of you must have heard about witch hunting. Yes. So our reaction are based on cultural barriers, or we can say cultural factors. Yes. And these factors somewhere deter the individuals in seeking medical help. Yes. And they go for religious or traditional remedies which are not effective. Got it? So first reason is cultural barriers. Second reason is visibility and tangibility. Now it's easy to plug a gap in physical health because it is visible and tangible. That means it is easy to recognize and diagnose. Yes. But this is not same with mental health, because mental health is invisible and intangible. You cannot, it is not easily recognized, or not, it is not easily diagnosed. That's the issue faced by mental health in India. So it's easy to give a remedy or to find a symptom of any wound or issue faced by internal organ because of its visibility and tangibility. Okay. Third challenge is difficulty in measuring outcomes. Just now we have seen the difference between visible disease and invisible disease. Now, don't you think that diagnosing mental health is a difficult task? And it is equally difficult to find the right treatment. Why? Because it is difficult to map the cause. Yes. So it is difficult in measuring outcomes. And because of this difficulty in measuring outcomes or to demonstrate effectiveness of medical treatment, somewhere it impacts funding part also. Because it is difficult to show or to demonstrate the effectiveness of medical treatment. Got it? The next challenge associated with mental health is social stigma. See, there is a stigma associated with mental health. Now this stigma, because of this stigma, individuals, they feel ashamed. And because of this, they avoid medical help. And because of this, there is increase in isolation. Got it? So you can see here is a perpetual cycle of suffering. Okay. In crux, you can understand that if you are not, or if you are avoiding, if you are not sharing your problems with the expert in the same field, then how you will get the solution? You need to express your concerns. You need to express your problem to the expert. Then only you will get the solution. So another reason associated with mental health challenge is social stigma. Next, inadequate healthcare infrastructure. The Indian healthcare infrastructure is under-resourced, particularly in mental health. There is profound shortage of medical facilities, psychiatric wards. Like in 2011, there was 0.31 psychiatrists and 0.04 psychologists with respect to 1 lakh patients suffering from mental disorder. With this, you can understand that how inadequate our healthcare infrastructure is. Now, if you combine all these factors, it can reflect in there is lack of access, affordability, and awareness with respect to mental health services. Yes, just now we have seen that there is funding issue. Now, funding issue, there will be dearth of infrastructure, which will impact its affordability. Yes, and impact its awareness. And that is why, according to National Mental Health Survey, nearly 80% of those suffering from mental disorder, they did not get the treatment for over an year. 80%. So these facts you can quote in your answer to enhance its quality. Okay. And these are the different challenges associated with mental health in India. Cultural barriers, visibility and tangibility, then very difficulty in assessment or in finding out the right treatment, then social stigma associated with this problem, mental health, then inadequate healthcare infrastructure and lack of access, affordability and awareness. Now, government came up with many initiatives that we have provided in our PDF. You can refer our PDF. So, first is Mental Health Policy 2014. It proposed right-based approach to quality service provisions. Then we have Mental Health Act 2017. It provides base for legal framework for providing services to protect, promote, and fulfill the rights of people with mental illness. Okay. Then we have National Mental Health Program since 1982, and it generate awareness about mental illness. Then we have National Mental Health Program and Health Wellness Center, and last, Kiran Health. So details we have provided in our PDF. Now let's see what solution we can have other than these initiatives. Now we know the problem of funding, we know the problem of accessibility, we know the problem of affordability. To bridge that gap, what we need? Resources? Yes. So there is need for government to participate actively here and allocate more resources on the line of like developed countries. They have devoted 5 to 18% annual to their mental health care or to their health budget. And in India, we have 0.05%. You can see the difference here. So we need to put more resources. Yes. Second, stigma issue, just now we have discussed. So to reduce the stigma around the mental health, we need to train or sensitize community and society. Then it is a very high time to blur the difference between visible and invisible disease. For that, we should provide the same access to safe and effective care as those with physical health. Yes. And now it is high time for society to see mental health with the same lens as they see physical health or physical disease. For that, mental illness must mandatorily be put under the ambit of life insurance. Okay, this will increase affordability. Yes. And last but not the least, we need to leverage our technology like telemedicine, like digital health platforms to extend services of mental health. Okay. So these are the initiatives or these are the suggestions we can incorporate in our answer. So this is all about mental health. If you have any doubt, please drop your doubt in our comment box. Now come to our next topic, which is based on this news article which appeared on page number 7 in the Hindu newspaper. All eyes are now on the Indian Ocean. Context is that since January 2021, India has been actively engaging with Quad Alliance and their focus is more on Indo-Pacific region. But since, or you can say, starting in October 2023, India began to redirect its resources, its attention towards Indian Ocean. So this article particularly talks about the shift in India's foreign policy. Now the question is why we have taken, because you can see here bilateral, regional and global groupings is an important theme under GS paper 2. So now let's discuss the important takeaways from this article. Now, in this article, author highlights the different geographical factors that can affect Indian Ocean. First is Maldives shift towards China. Now, under current presidentship of President Murzu, is developing a close ties with China, which somewhere can strain its relationship with India. Second is Sri Lankan sensitivity. Now, Sri Lanka is quite considerate to India's strategic interest, and they are showing it by restricting the access of foreign resource ships, including that of China. So, second is Sri Lankan sensitivity. Third, author highlighted is broader implications of Israel-Hamas conflict, which somewhere disrupted the international sea trade routes like Suez Canal, which is the global link, or you can say important critical link for global trade. Then expanding China. Now there is growing influence of China, which China is doing through establishing relationship with neighborhood countries like Maldives, and it is viewed with apprehension by India. So another factor is expanding China or growing influence of China. So these are the different factors that can affect Indian Ocean or affecting Indian Ocean. Now, after seeing the factors, let's see the change in India's policy, which author is talking about. So change in India's policy. So now, according to author, to counter the China's assertiveness, India is strengthening its alliance particularly with United States. So there's a tilt towards United States. And India is also inaugurating different infrastructural projects in nearby countries like Agalega Islands in Mauritius to improve maritime security. And it is also collaborating with other nations in themes like underwater domain awareness to counter new threats. So these are the different references which we can quote while reflecting change in India's foreign policy. Now, in this article, author also provided alternative options for India. First is that India should make clear to its allies that now our main focus is on Indian Ocean, though we held responsibility towards Indian Pacific region. So our main focus should be on Indian Ocean. We need to tell this to our allies. Second is, now India need to put a performance assessment of different forums like Indian Ocean Rim Association, like Colombo Security Conclave, for its better functioning. For their better functioning, we need to put a evaluative assessment. Third, India need to push new agreements with respect to maritime security to use the ocean resources in a sustainable way. So India need to push new agreements. And last but not the least, to build capacity, naval capacity, to enhance combating skills. Now, India must allocate additional financial resource to augment its naval forces. So these are the alternative options provided by author for India in this article. That's all from this article. Now, let's move to our third mains article, which appeared on explained page in the Indian Express. And this article is based on temperature update provided by Copernicus Climate Change Service, that is C3S. Copernicus Climate Change Service. Okay. And this forum provided that in February 2024, you can see in this image that in graph that in 2024, the global sea temperature has reached new heights, that is 21.06 degrees Celsius, and it surpassed the previous temperature, a previous record. The black line is 21.06. This 2024 data. And this shows the previous data. Now, what this graph shows that there's rise in ocean temperature, and it is a cause of concern. Why? Because it will impact climate and maritime ecosystem. Yes. Now, why we have taken? Because of the same, it will impact like conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, which is important theme under GS paper 3. So in this article, let's discuss reasons for warming of ocean provided by the author in this article. Now, the first reason is Here, authors establish a relationship between temperature, sea surface temperature, and industrial revolution. That combustion of fossil fuel will let surge in greenhouse gases, yes, like CO2, ozone, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, etc. And all these gases, they are quite proficient in holding heat within the Earth atmosphere. Now, the astonishing part is that ocean can absorb 90% of this heat. Okay, they can serve as a heat sink. So they can absorb 90% of this heat. What it will lead to? Excessive warming of ocean. So first reason is increasing absorption of greenhouse gas emissions. Okay. Second reason is impact of El Nino. Before that, you need to know what is El Nino. El Nino is warmer than normal. Let me write here. Warmer than normal water in equatorial Pacific. Okay. And according to author, the prime driver of this warming of ocean is global warming. But these factors are also important. So El Nino somewhere exert a significant influence. Yes. Another reason is Saharan impact on Atlantic. See, dust from Sahara, they used to cool down the Atlantic. But reduction in dust from Sahara somewhere aggravate this issue. Earlier, it used to calm down or cool down Atlantic, but now there is reduction in Saharan dust, which is another issue. Then next is impact of sulfate aerosols. See, these aerosols, they used to work as a cloud that prevent solar radiation from reaching ocean surface. Okay, so they used to work as a cloud. But now there is reduction of SO2 in marine fuel. And because of that, there is reduction in SO2 emission. Okay. Then weakening of ocean currents. Now, weakening of ocean currents, why? See, warmer ocean lead to increased stratification. Now, what is stratification? You know that there's a natural separation of water into a horizontal layers based on density. That means that warmer, you can see here, yes, warmer, lighter, less salty, and nutrient poor. This layer is on top of heavier, colder, saltier, and nutrient rich water. Got it? So this layer is on top of this layer. So because of warmer ocean, there is increase in stratification. That means there is problem in mixing of these two layers. Got it? So this will disrupt the flow of nutrient and oxygen. Yes, and this will disrupt the marine ecosystem. So these are the different reasons for warming of oceans. Now, having seen the reasons, let's see the impact of warming of ocean. The first impact is ocean stratification that we have already discussed now. That because of warmer ocean, there is increased stratification. So there is problem in mixing of two layers. Now, because of that, it is difficult for nutrient to come to the top level. Yes. And it will disrupt marine ecosystem. Now, what is the foundation of marine ecosystem? Phytoplankton. Yes, foundation. It is the base of oceanic food web. And somewhere, because of that, it will disrupt entire marine food web. So the first reason or impact of warming ocean is ocean stratification, which can impact marine ecosystem. Second is rising frequency of marine heat waves, MHW. For that, you need to know what is marine heat wave. See, abrupt rise of sea temperature of a particular region in sea of about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius above average temperature for more than 5 days. Okay, that is marine heat waves. So according to IPCC report, between 1982 to 2006, marine heat waves have doubled in frequency and they are more intense now. So this is the second impact, that is rising frequency of marine heat waves. Another impact is coral bleaching. See, when water is too warm, then corals, they used to expel algae, that is zooxanthellae, which is living in their tissues, and that is the reason that coral will turn into white. That is coral bleaching, and somewhere it will impact their productivity of corals. So another impact is coral bleaching. Then definitely sudden rise of temperature, we can see loss of marine lives, and impact on migration, because now species are moving to colder areas. Why? Because their usual habitat, it's warm up now. Then intensification of the cyclones is another impact, because warmer ocean, then more water will evaporate, and that provides the base or energy for intense cyclones. So another impact is intensification of cyclones because of warmer water. So these are the important impacts. Okay. Having seen the reasons and impact of warming of oceans, so here we end our mains discussion. Now let's move to prelims. So the first question, practice question we have taken here is based on this news article which appeared on page number 5 in the Hindu newspaper. Context is that VSSC, that is Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, this is ISRO's facility at Tumba in Trivendrapuram. It developed multi-purpose app to assist Gaganyaan crew. This is the context. Now, why we have taken? Because UPSC has been asking question in based on research in field of technology. There was a question on Mangalyaan which came in year 2016. So here we have taken a practice question on app Sakhi. Before that, let's see the important features of this app. So this app provides vital technical information with respect to technical documents and training manuals. Yes. First, second, it is quite useful to monitor health of astronauts, like key parameters like blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, etc. Then it is also useful in maintaining mission log in different formats like voice records, text, images, etc. And it is also useful in keeping them connected with Earth or with ground stations. So these are the important features of this Sakhi app. Now let's come and solve practice question. Question says, which among the following best defines the purpose of Sakhi application developed by ISRO? Now you need to answer this question. Write answer in the comment box. This we have already discussed. Okay. Let's come to our next question, which is based on this image which came this in the Hindu. And this image is about Polynesia in the Pacific Ocean that protects excessive coral reefs. Now, coral reef is important theme. UPSC has already asked question on same in 2018. So here we have taken a practice question on coral reef. Before that, first let's see the statements we have given. Coral bleaching happens when coral assumes vibrant colors by losing their white color. First statement. Second, extreme low tides can cause coral bleaching. And third statement is India is a founding member of global initiatives for protection of coral reefs. Now to answer that, first let's have a discussion on coral bleaching. See, corals are colonial creatures. Yes, and they are made up of hundreds of polyps. You can see here, and these polyps, they share a symbiotic relationship with zooxanthellae algae. Now, why this is symbiotic relationship? Because this zooxanthellae, They make energy. In this, you can see they make energy from sunlight, and this energy utilized by coral. And what zooxanthellae get in return? Shelter. So it's a win-win situation for both. That is why it is example of symbiotic relationship. Now, what is coral bleaching? See, when there is like increased heat, sudden rise in temperature, then there is then because of that zooxanthellae becomes stressed. Okay, now they can't use that energy efficiently, and earlier they used to pass this energy to the corals. Because of this increased heat, they can't use this energy efficiently, and this energy because of this energy they produce toxins which is harmful for the corals, and that is why corals expels them. Okay, they expels zooxanthellae, which in turn which make coral turn white, and that is bleaching, coral bleaching. Okay, in this image you can see when coral they expel zooxanthellae, because the color is because of zooxanthellae, then it turns coral into white. That is coral bleaching. Now here are the causes that can cause reasons that can cause coral bleaching. The first reason, just now we have discussed, change in ocean temperature. That may be because of climate change. So change in ocean temperature, high temperature, zooxanthellae will be more stressed. You know the correlation now. Second is runoff and pollution, because this runoff water carry pollutants and these can bleach corals. Then exposure to sunlight, same reason, high temperature and high solar irradiance, that can contribute to coral bleaching. And then another reason is extreme low tides. Exposure to air during extreme low tides can cause coral bleaching. So these are the different causes associated with coral bleaching. Now let's come and solve a question. Now coral bleaching happens when coral assumes vibrant colors by losing their white color. No. You know the answer now. This we have discussed. So our first statement is incorrect. Extreme low tides can cause coral bleaching. Just now we have seen exposure to air can cause coral bleaching. So this statement is correct. India is a founding member of global initiatives for protection of coral reefs. Yes, why not? So third statement is correct. So our answer is option B, 2 only. Now, let's come to our another question, which is based on this news article which appeared on page number 7 in the Indian Express. And this article is about, as you can see here, star rating. So basically, Environment Ministry launched this star rating in year 2022 to encourage states to grant environmental clearance quickly. And in that, state will get a score based like 1 to 7. And this is basically done by Environment Ministry to speed up the process of environmental clearance. Yes, but it faced some kind of criticism because it somewhere compromised environmental protections. And that is why it is not been optionalized yet. So this is the context of the news article. Now, why we have taken it? Because energy, UPSC has been asking on question based on energy conservation and sustainable development. Like there was a question on energy efficiency star labeling in 2016. So here we have taken a practice question on same theme. Now, to understand environmental clearance, first we need to know about the Environmental Impact Assessment Notification 2006. See, it is a mandatory under Environmental Protection Act 1986. So this act is important, and this involves for development activities involving investment of rupees 50 crore and above. So this is the bandwidth, that is 50 crore and above. Now this notification makes EIC, environmental clearance EC, compulsory for new projects, for expansion or modernization of existing projects, and for activities listed in the schedule. So this notification mandates two authorities to provide environmental clearance. The first one is MOEF, that is Ministry of Environment and Forests. So any big projects that falls under the category of A in the schedule, so for that EC will provide the environmental clearance, right? And another authority to provide environmental clearance is EIAA, that is State Environment Impact Assessment Authority. And this is for those projects like smaller projects falling under category B. For that, this authority or state authority will provide the clearance. Now, let's solve our practice question based on our discussion. So here we have two statements and you need to find out the correct one. So the first statement is, under the Environment Protection Act 1986, environmental impact assessment is mandatory for activities involving minimum investment of rupees 100 crore. But just now we have seen it is mandatory for projects above 50 crore. Yes, then this makes our first statement incorrect. Now come to the second statement. Read this statement carefully. State Environment Impact Assessment Authority is a state government authority constituted in every state with power to issue clearance. See, this authority is capable of issuing clearance that we have seen for projects falling under category B, smaller projects. But it is not a state government authority. It is central government authority. This act on behalf and reports to Ministry of Environment. This makes our second statement incorrect. Okay. So our answer is D, neither one nor two. Now come to our next question, which is based on this news article which appeared on page number 12. This article is about the captive elephant transfer or transport rules 2024. Basically, this rules liberalize the condition in which elephants may be transferred within state or between states. Now, why we have taken this question? Because UPSC has been asking question on important rules, regulations. Like there was a question on Ramsar Convention, Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2010. So on similar theme, we have curated practice question on Captive Elephant Transfer or Transport Rules 2024. To answer this, first quickly see the important facts associated with this notification. See here, captive elephant can be transported to other state through a fitness examination, and this must be conducted by a veterinary expert. And here, owner of the elephant along with the veterinary expert, they will send the application to Chief Wildlife Warden of the state. And here, Chief Wildlife Warden of the state should forward this application within 7 days to officer not less than rank of Deputy Conservator of Forest. Okay, so this is the process. And in this process, the power to reject and accept application is with Chief Wildlife Warden. Okay. And here are the circumstances mentioned in this rule in which transfer can be allowed. First is that owners should no longer be in a position to maintain the elephant first. Second, it should be done so that elephant can get a better upkeep compared to the previous circumstances or present circumstances. And third, if Chief Wildlife Warden should deem it fit and proper in circumstances of the case. Okay. So these are the 3 circumstances mentioned in this notification. Now come and solve this practice question. The transfer will be allowed if the elephant can get a better upkeep compared to the present circumstance. Yes, this is one of the conditions. So our first statement is correct. Second is National Board of Wildlife has the power to reject, approve the transfer of captive elephant. This is incorrect. Power is with Chief Wildlife Warden, not with National Board of Wildlife. So our second statement is incorrect. Come to our third statement. The owner should file an application along with veterinary expert reports to the Chief Wildlife Warden of the state to which elephant is transported. Again, this statement is correct. So our answer is option B, that is only 2. Now, come to our next question, which is based on this article, and context is that Ministry of Mines is looking to provide handhold support to private players in acquiring critical mineral blocks overseas. And now, what are the example of critical minerals here? Lithium, cobalt, copper, etc. So these are the example of critical minerals. Now UPSC has been asking question on major and minor mineral. There was a question on major minerals in year 2020. So here we have curated practice question associated with critical minerals. Before that, we should know what are critical minerals. Critical minerals is a metallic and a non-metallic element that has two characteristics. First is it is efficient for functioning of our modern technologies, for our economies, national security, like drones, mobile phones, computer, solar panels, turbines, aerospace technology, etc. Or second condition is there is a risk that its supply chain could be disrupted. Now, this risk may be because of rare availability, higher demand, or because of maybe unstable political regions. Yes. And different countries can create their own list, and mostly graphite, lithium, cobalt. They will include these critical minerals. And government has taken various initiatives. Because of paucity of time, we have taken the important one, that is Kabul, and our question is also based on the same. So Kabul rest information or rest information about different initiatives we have provided in our PDF. Do refer our PDF. Here we have taken up Kabul initiative, which is a joint venture of NALCO, HCL, and MECL. Okay, and this is basically formed to identify, acquire, develop, and process commercial use of strategic minerals in overseas location for supply in India. Okay. So now let's solve our practice question. So here we have given two statements. Statement 1 is Khanij Videsh India Limited, that is Kabul, which is a company fully owned by Government of India. Now you need to tell me whether this statement is right or wrong. Just now we have seen it is a joint venture of NALCO, HCL, and MECL. So it's not a completely fully owned company by the Government of India. So this makes our first statement incorrect. Second is it aims to identify, acquire, develop, process, and make commercial use of strategic minerals in overseas location for supply in India. Okay, to ensure consistent supply of mineral. This is correct. Okay. So here our option is D, that is statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Now come to our next question, which is based on this news article. This news article is because of recent conflict between governor and government of Tamil Nadu, which has resurfaced as governor has refused to reinstate the minister despite SC staying its conviction under a disproportionate case. Okay. Now, provisions with respect to center state is common theme in UPSC Prelims examination. There was a question on discretionary powers in year 2014. So here we have taken up question on same theme. Question is, the minister in a state are appointed by governor of a state on the recommendation of chief minister. Now this statement is correct. If you refer article 164(1), it states that chief minister shall be appointed by the governor. Chief minister shall be appointed by the governor, and other ministers shall be appointed by the governor on advice of chief minister. Okay. And these ministers should hold office during the pleasure of the governor. So with this, our first statement is correct. Second statement is the person convicted for any offense for period of not less than 2 years shall be disqualified from the date of such conviction. Now again, this statement is correct if you refer Lily Thomas versus Union of India as per section 8 of Representation of People Act 1951, that conviction of a lawmaker for any offense that carries a sentence of 2 years or more leads to them being disqualified from the house. Got it? This makes our second statement correct. And third statement is a person disqualified under above provision, that is RPA, cannot be appointed as a minister. Again, this statement is correct. A person disqualified under RPA Act 1951 cannot be appointed as a minister. So all three statements are correct. So our answer is T. Now come to our another question, which is based on this article, which appeared on explained page in the Indian Express. Now, context, this article highlights that there is a frequent fire incidents in the forest in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, southern forests, and why we have taken? Because basic understanding about different phenomena linked to different forests is important theme. There was a question on savanna in 2021. So here we have taken on question on forest fire. In that we have covered important aspects with respect to forest fire. Now the key highlight of this article is that some forests in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are fire prone. This is the highlight of this article. However, according to Forest Survey of India, forests in southern India are comparatively less vulnerable to fire. Okay. So here author views in contradiction to FSI. And here there are factors which can contribute to spike in forest fire. The first is high aridity, as you can see here. Then above normal day temperature, heat, clear sky condition, and calm winds. So these are the conditions that can spike forest fire. Now, let's solve our practice question. So the first statement is, montane temperate forests are high prone to forest fire. Now this statement is incorrect. Why? Because if you see FSI, according to FSI, dry deciduous forests, they are high prone to forest fire in comparison to evergreen, semi-evergreen montane temperate forest. Okay. Second statement is, according to the State of Forest report, more than 35 of Indian forest cover was prone to frequent fires. Again, this fact is correct. More than 36 of Indian forest was prone to frequent fires. And third statement is, forest fire helps in improving silvicultural opportunities and enhancing biodiversity. See, forest fire is not always bad. Small control of forest fire is quite essential because it can replace, or it can keep the forest floor clear from natural or annual buildup of litter, which can be the cause for catastrophic forest fire. Okay, and it will improve silviculture opportunities. Before that, you need to know what is silviculture. It is about practice of it is a practice of managing and cultivating forests to ensure sustainable growth, health, and productivity. Okay, that is silviculture. And it will increase habitat opportunities for wildlife. So these are the important or the positives of forest fire. So with this, our third statement is correct. So our answer is only 2, that is option B. And here we come to our last practice question, which is based on Uniform Code for Pharmaceutical Marketing Practices. And this was released by Department of Pharmaceutical under Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer. Why we have taken up? Because important regulations with respect to important field, like there was a question based on Food Safety and Standard Regulation 2011 came in 2016. So here we have covered Uniform Code for Pharmaceutical Marketing Practice with the help of our MCQ. So here our practice question is based on this. Now let's see the important aspects of this code. First is that it prohibits pharmaceutical companies from extending any personal benefit like providing travel facilities, gift, monetary support or hospitality to health professionals or their family members. Second, it put a lot of emphasis on free samples of drugs should not be supplied to anyone who is unqualified to prescribe such products. And in this quote, they put limit also that monetary value of samples distributed by the company shall not cross 2% of its domestic sale. Okay. And here in this quote, they they asked companies to put details like doctor's name, product name, quality of samples given, etc. And in this quote, they didn't prohibit health professionals or hiring of any medical representatives by the health professionals, but they do regulate their activities. Okay, so these are the important aspects related to this quote. Now let's solve our practice question based on the same. First statement is that pharmaceutical companies are prohibited from extending any kind of gifts to healthcare facilities. That we have seen that this quote prohibits companies to extend support like gift, travel facilities, hospitality, etc. to healthcare professionals and their family members. So our first statement is correct. Second statement is pharmaceutical companies are also barred from hiring any medical representatives for the promotion of their products. Now, we have seen that they are not barred. There is nothing like they are not prohibited by this code to hire any medical representative, but their activities will be regulated. Okay, so this makes our second statement incorrect. So our answer is option A, one only. So that's all for today. If you have any doubt, please drop your doubt in our comment box. That's all. Stay tuned for more such updates. Thank you.